So in this video, we start with regulation 35, which is on the oversight and accountability. Now the appropriate authority shall, before approving AI system for use in code processes, require the submission of a comprehensive. So before approving AI system for use, a comprehensive technical and ethical impact assessment is required. The question might come to your mind is, why is this required for AI systems when AI systems are believed to be, intelligent? The point is, where technology is and where hype is, these two things are very different. So if technology is here, hype is somewhere up in the sky. So technical and ethical impact assessment has to be done before it approves an AI system. The appropriate authority shall also prescribe a standard format for the technical and ethical impact assessment within 6 months from the date of commencement of these regulations. So this is the task of appropriate authority to prescribe a standard format for these two impact assessments. Now, the technical and ethical impact assessment shall evaluate at a minimum. So these are the minimum things that technical and ethical impact assessment shall evaluate. The purpose. So what is the purpose of AI? Okay, what does it want to achieve? So if it is used in code, what is the purpose that it wants to achieve? Okay, so that purpose. Architecture. Architecture of an AI means, architecture can be, let's say, neural networks can be used. We don't need to understand what neural networks are. Neural networks can be used, or let's say SVMs can be used, or let's say neural networks but with transformer model can be used. So those things have to be specified to evaluate, right? So the ethical and technical impact assessment will evaluate what is the purpose, what is the architecture, neural networks with transformer model, how many weights does it have, how many layers does it have, which nonlinearity does it use, what was the cost function used, how was the cost function behaving during the training, and so on, and functioning of the AI system. Nature, source, quality, and representativeness of its training data. It's good that our regulations are asking these questions. What is the nature of the training data? What is the source? Because whether it is infringing copyrights or not. What is the quality? Because just having a lot of training data does not mean it's a good training data. Representativeness. Does it have enough representations that are important for that particular function? So I'm taking an example that is beyond code processes, but let's say, for example, we are trying to diagnose whether a particular kind of tumor is cancer or not. So given CT scans, we want to see whether, so let's say we are talking about lungs, very badly drawn lungs though. Okay, so if there's a tumor here, and let's say in our training data set, we have talked only about males, then our training data falls short of representativeness for women. Okay, so training data should be representative of all kind of classes that can be there. What is the quality? What is the quality of these images? Is it worth? Is it legible? Can human radiologists see these quality and take some decisions over it? What is the source? Are they pirated or are they genuine? Whether the consent was taken of the subject for obtaining his or her CT scans or not. What is the nature? Nature is the CT scans here, right? So all this information should be evaluated. So all this information must be gathered and such things must be evaluated. Risks of bias. So what are the risks of bias? Whether my AI model will favor some particular class more than the other. What is the error? Right? So what is the error percentage my AI can do? Now a lot of people might worry, where does this error come from? AI make mistakes. We have seen it at a lot of places. Every large language model writes it, right? That this is AI and it can make mistakes. So AI can make a lot of mistakes. AI can hallucinate. That means it can uh, give answers that sound correct, that look confident, that look correct but are not correct, and misuse in the relevant judicial context. Cybersecurity vulnerabilities and the data protection measures are in place. So basically the AI system that we are talking about is not suffering from major cybersecurity vulnerabilities, and data protection measures are in place, because data protection has to be there whenever we talk about personal data, right? So the personal data in case of court may be of officers, it may be of parties, it may be of advocates, and so on. Mechanisms for explainability. This is a hard thing to do. So mechanisms for explainability and compliance with the human in the loop requirements. Now, human in the loop, I think I have stressed enough that this is a very difficult kind of evaluation, because for this particular human who is bombarded from all these AI outputs, just gives up. And procedures for redressal of any harm for incident reporting. Okay, so procedures for redressal of any harm. So let's say this particular AI system, if it does some kind of harm, then what should be the procedure for redressal of any harm and for incident reporting? So how should the incident, the AI incident, be reported? We have talked about what is AI incident in one of the previous videos. So I think this is the right time to stop this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.